And good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Guys, I need to find a new song. This one is just not hitting it for me these days. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Morning. I am your energy alchemist and host, Patricia Barrow Wolfson. I'm also a wife and a mom to 3 boys, and it is my mission to help you, number one, calibrate your energy. Number two, integrate self care into easy, doable steps. I promise you it's possible. And number three, to help you shine your light in the world in your own unique way because you are a magnificent gift. And it's time that you unwrap it and start using it. Okay, so if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go right now and just go ahead and subscribe on Jumpstart for Change on YouTube. Press the subscribe button, press the notifications button, and you will always be notified when I go live. But just for your own purposes, I'm usually here from Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. I'm not usually, I'm here every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. But please subscribe, follow, share to anyone who you think might benefit from these Me First mornings. Hi, Dad. Hi, Mom. I have my parents who are my loyal watchers. So they're here. I want to say hi. Feel free to say hello to them as well if you're here. And if you are watching right now, awesome, welcome. And if you're watching the replay, welcome. Thank you for coming back to watch what you missed. And I hope that you enjoy the episode. So, what are we talking about today? Let's see here. Oh, yes. Stop waiting for the right tools. We are going to be talking about that thing that causes us to hesitate, right? And it's not a thing. It's very often an excuse that holds us back, but it is an excuse that our brain really can get behind. And that's the excuse that we don't have the right tools for what we want to accomplish, right? So then it's an easy way for us to be like, you know what, I can't do that yet because I don't have ABC. And you may need ABC, but I bet you that if you really tried, that you could come up with some way to do what you want to do without any other tool. So we're going to talk about that today because it's super important. I don't want anything to stop you because the most important thing is not the tools or the strategy that you have. The most important thing is the momentum and that you are moving in the direction that you want to go. Momentum, speed, motion, right? That is what helps the universe get you into the flow, right? If you get the right momentum, that you can take advantage of that energy that can just take you away and help you be more productive. Okay, so let's get started. I feel like I need to center myself this morning. I'm feeling that need, so let's begin with that, and then we can talk. So let's light the candle. Here we go. I hope everybody had a lovely day of love yesterday, a lovely Valentine's Day. Whether or not you are part of a union, I hope you treated yourself to, maybe a nice meal, maybe some Netflix and chill. I hope that whatever it is that you did yesterday, that you felt loved. And guess what? I hope that you feel loved again today because I feel like that's important, right? Not just Valentine's Day. That's just the marketing, right? That, in my house, we kind of celebrate Valentine's Day, but we're kind of like, oh yeah, happy Valentine's. I usually, I baked cookies for the kids, made it more about them. But my husband and I don't know, Valentine's Day is every day for us. We always make sure that we take the time to let each other know how much we mean to each other. Like gifts come at random times of the year. We don't do big, surprises for big events. We do more, hey, I picked this up for you because I thought you'd like it. And, it works for us. And I think that that's also a very valid way to celebrate your love with somebody is like on a daily basis, works for us. Mom, we had a blast, had friends over. Yay, that's awesome. What a great way to celebrate. Definitely celebrating with friends would be ideal. I mean, I think because, like, everybody celebrates love and you all celebrate together. That's awesome. Okay, so we lit the candle. I'm moving slowly today, guys. You have to bear with me. All right. So we lit the candle and we're going to use some essential oils as usual. I am going back to my clear quartz. This is an essential oil roller that I picked up from, as I said, Energy Muse. I'm not an affiliate yet, but I do like Energy Muse a lot. And so you just put this in pressure points, and that should amplify things today. And now I'm going to grab my clear quartz crystals so that we can do our deep breaths together. And so, what we want to do with this morning ritual, the idea is we want to reset, recharge our spiritual batteries, right? We want to recharge our energetic batteries. We want to make sure that we are fully pumped and ready for the day. So, what are we made of? We're made of stardust and earth dust is what I've been saying lately, right? So we're going to take a moment to take a deep breath and allow that beautiful liquid sunshine, right? That healing light that comes from the sun, that energizes everything, that gives life and information to everything, that gives our life instructions. We are going to imagine that the top of our head is opening up and that liquid sunshine is just pouring into the top of your head, okay? And you're just going to allow that to come in to just supercharge your body with that healing energy, okay? And then at the same time, I want your feet well planted on the ground, and I want you to imagine that your feet are like in the dirt or in the ground. Even better if you can actually be outside and do this, but if not, that's okay. Just intend it or imagine it. And when your feet are in, I want you to imagine that your feet are charging up, almost like, you use those mag chargers for the phones and you just put the phone on it and the phone starts to charge. Your feet on the earth is you charging your body's batteries. Of course, sleep does it as well, but this is just, we want to connect the heavens and the earth, right? We want to connect sky and planet together so that we can get fully charged for our day. So I like to use my clear quartz crystals to amplify the experience even more. You don't have to use clear quartz. You don't have to use any crystals. You can just set the intention with your mind, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And as we breathe in this beautiful, powerful energy, I want you to imagine that any stuck, stagnant, or dense energy in your body is just going to break away, that beautiful, powerful light is just going to bust up anything that's not serving us. And with the exhale, I want you to release all of the things that don't serve you. Okay, so let's do that together. Yeah, Mom, you're right. Scott and I are very cute. Good morning, Meredith. Good morning. Okay, so let's take that deep breath together. And remember, we're going to hold for 5 seconds. And while we're holding, that's when we're going to imagine that all of that beautiful, powerful life force energy that is flowing through us is just going to break apart. That energy is going to fill us with the energy that we need for the day. Okay, we are fueling up. So you can even imagine that you're a car and you're fueling up with the gas for the day. Okay, but instead of gas, it's sunlight and earth light, earth power. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Okay, deep breath in and hold and release. Good. That felt like a good breath. Okay, another deep breath in once again. And release. Now I want you to breathe deeply And I want you, when you're breathing deeply, I want you to imagine that you are charging up, you are fueling up. So you are bringing in with your breath the energy and the oxygen that you need to move through your day, right? So do it with that intention that you are filling up that tank of energy so that you have the highest, right? Because also we want it with like good energy, with high end energy. So like when you go to the gas station, you have regular, you have whatever the medium one is, and then you have premium or supreme gas, right? So usually I fill my tank with regular, right? And probably most of us do. But in your case, for this vessel, we need to fill our tanks with supreme, right? And so how do you get the supreme? Is by allowing that beautiful life force energy coming from the heavens and coming from the earth to permeate your body. So, this last breath, I really want you to think about what you are doing, fueling up with the highest vibration possible so that you can carry that vibration throughout the day. Okay, here we go. Last time. And hold and release. Beautiful. Okay, now time to stretch, right? Where we also release any stuck, stagnant energy, any tension, any discomfort, right? We are clearing our channel. That's very important. We want to clear the channel of communication between you and source so that you can get the exact information you need to function throughout your day, right? We're clearing the channel. We are charging up with the highest level of energy, okay? Oh, yes, that feels good. And shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Whew. This is too hot. This is too hot for this light that I have on me. So I'm like sweating it up a little bit. All right. So thank you for that. Now it's time to set our intention for the day. So I want you to think about, what is it that you would like to feel today? How would you like to feel? What would you like to accomplish? How would you like to feel while you are accomplishing it? Because it's really important that you keep in mind what your GPS coordinates are, right? And so for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about in terms of the GPS coordinates, I don't, ooh, guys, what did I do? Okay, sorry. Kind of my screen went nuts. All right, so I have a free GPS workbook for anybody who's interested in downloading it. And this workbook is just going to take you through several questions that is going to help you figure out what your GPS word is. Now, what is the GPS word for those of you who don't know? A GPS word is a word, a phrase, a feeling, right? It can be anything, but basically I choose like a word or a phrase that captures the feeling that you want, right? We can think about all the things that we want in our life. I want this, I want that. I want a life of freedom, I want a life of peace or whatever, right? But what's that feeling that you're really going for, right? Even if you're thinking, I'd love a bigger house, I want more space, I want a better relationship with my children, whatever it is that you want, think about, what is that feeling that you're going to have when you achieve what you want? What is that feeling? Is it freedom? Is it connection? Is it um, intention? Is it, I don't know. You have to think. You have to fill in the word for you, right? What you want most out of your life. What is the feeling that you want most to feel? Because then that is the word. That is your GPS word, and you have to input that word into your GPS, right? Into your, type in the coordinates, right? So that is the intention that we put out in the world. And you can write it down in a journal if that's something that works for you. But definitely take some time to set that intention for yourself so that you have somewhere to go back to as you go through your day, right? So if the intention is, I want, to have a peaceful day, well, then you have to, every chance you get, when you're faced with a challenge, when you're faced with a decision, when you're faced with like the next step, you have to remind yourself, I want a peaceful day. What is the most peaceful thing I can do here? What is the most peaceful solution? What is the most peaceful next step? And when you use that as your word, as your anchor, well, then that means you are creating peace around you. You are holding space for peace to exist, right? Because you are intentionally creating the atmosphere where peace can exist. So that's the key to creating your day and to creating and co creating the life that you want. So let's start with that right now. now is take a moment to think about your intention and what you would like to infuse in your day. So just take a moment to think about that. Good morning, Mila, and so glad you're here today. Okay, so now that we've set that intention, I want you to hold that intention, and I'm going to say my morning prayer, and you guys are welcome to join me, or you can just set the intention quietly or say your own prayer that connects with your own religious or spiritual beliefs. All is good, right? This is called Me First Morning because you get to do it your way. I show you my way, but really it's about you figuring out what works best for you, what resonates with you. And so the things that I say to you that you're like, yes, I love that, then by all means incorporate that into your day. And if I say some stuff that you're like, that's not really for me, awesome. That's okay too, because you get to create your day however you want. That's the point. All right. So let's, I will say my morning prayer and set the intention for us to get the support from the angels and guides to set our intentions for the day. Okay. So here we go. Nice deep breath to get started for myself. Okay, Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve us, no longer serve myself or humanity, and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Beautiful. That always feels so good. I love calling in support of our angels and our ancestors. They're just waiting. And whether or not you believe in angels or guides or any of that stuff, it's nice to know that there could potentially be some support on the other side of the veil. At least some cheerleaders going, yeah, you got this, no problem. Okay. So I choose to believe it. I hope you choose to believe it too. If it's something that helps you move through your day a little better, why not? All right. So let's pull some No, it's not pulling some card. I'm pulling one card for the day, and we're going to talk about the topic du jour, which is you don't need anything. You don't need anything but what you have to do what you want. Okay. Now, if you are watching, whether you're watching now or in the replay, I want you to think about, if you come up with something and it's like, no, I definitely need to wait for this, then, and if you feel comfortable, go ahead and put it in the chat and I will figure out a way how you can still take action even if you don't have it. Okay. So I'm just putting it out there. Okay. Because here's the thing that I find is that our fear and our resistance of life, of being wrong, our fear of not being able to get the things that we desire because we've been conditioned in so many ways to believe that the things that we want are way out of our reach. And that's not, you don't have to just come from a terrible family in order for you to believe that. I think very, very loving families and loving and supportive people are also giving the information that, be careful, don't put all your eggs in one basket, your dreams are hard to attain, money doesn't grow on trees, people are always trying to give you advice and trying to warn you. And we talked about this, I think earlier this week or last week, always trying to warn you about don't get too confident or don't be disappointed if it doesn't work out this way, right? They're by planting the seed in your head that, it's unlikely you're going to get what you want, right? How terrible. But it's not their fault, right? Because when people who love you give you warnings like that or try not to get your hopes up or say don't do this, get yourself ready for disappointment or whatever, they are doing it from a place of love because they don't want to see you hurt. They don't want to see you disappointed. They don't want to see you disillusioned with your dreams or with life. So instead of allowing you to just experience whatever comes your way, and then if you get disillusioned, that happens, they want to prepare you, right, for this disillusionment, thereby setting you up for failure, right? Or setting you up for the idea that you are going to fail, in which case it then becomes this energy that you have in your field, right? The energy of failure. So we carry this with us probably for most of our lives, right? Like these are things that we encounter in our lives, and people that we love always well meaning, giving us well meaning advice, that usually makes us feel shitty because it makes us feel like, oh, you don't think I can make it, or you don't trust in my abilities, or, and I'm not pointing the finger here at anyone in particular. And both my parents are here. So, you know, this is nothing personal to you guys. You didn't necessarily, I can't think of anything necessarily that you did specifically in this case, but I do it too. That's what I'm trying to say, is that we all do it. I do it with my kids, and I'm like, okay, like, and I try to keep myself in check with that, where it's like, okay, I'm just going to let them experience this. But there's certain things that you want to protect them for, right? Like you want to protect them, if they make certain choices, you want to make sure that they are ready for whatever might come their way, right? You want to prepare them. You want to give them the tools that they need if they're going to, fail, or if someone's going to break their heart, or if something isn't going to work out the way they want, or if they're auditioning for something and they might not get it, right? We want to be there to support them, and we want to give them a heads up so that the disappointment isn't so shocking if they think, well, it's kind of hard to do. So if you don't do it, that's okay, right? But here's the thing. And here is the thing that we never end up learning because of all these warnings, because of, all of the protection that we've been getting our whole lives to be able to face the real world, right? Is that the message is also sent to us that we don't have what it takes, right? That we don't have the tools or the strategies, or we're not good enough. That's kind of the message that we get for ourselves. So what happens when you're an adult? And not even when you're an adult, but for the most part, I'm coming to you as a 47-year-old woman with 3 children. So I have to come to you with my perspective and with my life's experience. And, I could be wrong on so many levels. And if this doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. I was going to say change the channel, but I guess it's not really TV. So, swipe, or, you can move on. That's okay. But what I want to tell you is you have everything you need. You were created, okay? You were created, and we were all created, right? We were all created with a specific purpose in mind. And, and so many people are like, oh, what's my purpose? What's my mission, right? Your purpose and your mission is to be you, right? And it seems like such an easy, simple thing, right? It's like, oh, be me, awesome. But I don't know about you guys, but so many of us have lost sight of who that person is. Like, who are you really? Because there's been conditioning, there's social conditioning, there's family conditioning, there's, societal structures in place that, tell us the way things are, or the way things should be, or how we should act, or how, all of this information that we're constantly getting that is shaping us. And that's wonderful because we are here and we are shaped by our outside environment. But deep down inside, not even that deep, right? But each one of us comes with the things that light us up, the things that connect with our soul, the things that we are inclined to do. Some people are really amazing at art, and other people are really fantastic at numbers. Other people are really great at putting together puzzles. They love figuring things out. Other people are lit up by dancing and moving their body, or by athletics, right? Everybody has that thing that you're just like you're born with. It's like you can't even help it. It's just your natural inclination. But I think through life and, going through the schooling process, which, in itself is a, indoctrination into society, that we lose a little bit of our individuality. And what happens is that then we start to doubt ourselves and we start to doubt our individuality. We start to doubt our own passions. We start to doubt our purpose. We start to doubt our interests. Maybe I shouldn't be spending time doing this. Maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe, like maybe this isn't what I'm meant to do. Maybe I'm meant for a bigger purpose. And all of those questions are valid, and we evolve and change as we grow, and all of that is good. And sometimes your interests that you had when you were a little girl or a little boy or little person, okay, they are different than what interests you now. Your priorities have changed, your perspective has changed. Things that were important to you before are not important to you now. So there is this aspect of relearning who we are as adults and reconnecting with the parts of us that are still in our soul, that are still expressions of our spirit, and what parts we kind of just learned and they don't really resonate with us anymore. So I feel it's important to talk about that on the surface because all of that is connected to this, okay? Anything you need, you have it with you. You have it within you. It is already there. So whatever it is that you want to work on, anything that you want to do, any vision you have for your life, do something about it now. Now, you could have a vision about something that's so big that you need a ton of money for. Maybe you need investors for this. And it's a big, big dream. And you're not in a position to make that dream come true at this moment. Maybe you're a young mom. Maybe you're a single young mom and you're working 3 jobs just to make ends meet. Okay. Maybe you just have so much going on in your life that you don't have time to put into whatever it is that that big dream is. And that's okay. If that's your situation right now, if that's your reality right now, then part of what I teach is you have to embrace that. You have to embrace that this is the moment, that this is your reality, and that's okay. But at the same time, what can you do? Even if the only thing you can do is flesh out your idea, is like continue to imagine what you want it to look like in the future or how you would put it together if you did have the resources. And then when you allow yourself to really like flesh it out, start thinking about what you could do now, how you can honor that thing that you want to do in the future. How can you bring it into your life right now? How can you honor it right now? So, hold on, Meredith. Yeah, hard to know when to step in or hold back. Sometimes the boundary is safety. Absolutely. And that's so important, right? When we're talking about boundaries with our children, we have to set boundaries. We have to be the parents that we are. And as a side note, our kids chose us. And in fact, we chose each other on, another plane. So whatever it is that we do, however we choose to live our lives, how we guide our children, we're supposed to guide them that way. And they're going to figure out their path regardless of what we do, right? We're going to support them on their path no matter what. Sometimes even the things that aren't great, about how you parent, okay, as someone who's, a yeller. One of the topics that I've talked about before, not on here, but my husband and I have talked about it sometimes. If you come from a family of yellers, of people who yell, then if you're out in the real world and someone starts yelling at you, you don't really get fazed by it. Like it doesn't affect you in the same way as if you've had like a very quiet upbringing and then you go somewhere and like you have a teacher or a coach who decides to be a total jerk and starts yelling at you. It's like really shocking to the system because you've never experienced it before. So I'm only saying that in that if you feel terrible about any decisions or any actions you've taken as a parent, is that chances are on some level it's helpful to them in their evolutionary process. So I'm just putting that out there because it's important to say. Okay, so I'm going to pull the card and I'm going to remind you once again, how can you bring your vision for the future into your life at this moment? What can you do this minute, right? Can you gather people who are on the same wavelength as you and start doing, like little workshopping the idea if it's something that really needs like money and planning. If it's something that needs time, because sometimes things take time. What can you do now? How can you think about it? How can you work on it? How can you start getting the ball rolling? Even if you're like, I'm nowhere near being able to get that done. But what can you do right now in terms of starting to move things along in the right direction? Because the momentum is the most important thing, right? Is getting the ball rolling, starting the momentum in the direction that you want to go. So, what is that project? What is that dream? What is that vision that you have that you've put on the back burner because you're like, I don't have the right equipment. I don't have the money to put this together. I don't have the right things or the right tools, right? And that may be true. You may need certain tools. You may need certain people. You may need certain things in place. But there's definitely something you can do right now. So you need to ask yourself, what can I do right now? What action can I take in this moment that can move me to the next possible action? And only you can answer that. So think about it and let me know. And like I said, if you come up with something and you're like, okay, what about this? Then feel free, if not on the show, definitely write it in a comment on the show if you want, or private message me and tell me and be like, you know what, this is what I want. How can I take action on it right now? I'll help you figure it out. This is what I help people do. I help people figure out the next best step. Sometimes the next best step is much smaller than you think it is and much easier than you think it is, because we're always thinking like big, inspired action. And yes, inspired action, I talked about it this week, is super, super important. But also tiny little steps in the right direction will also get you moving where you need to go. Okay. All right, cards. What do you have to say about this? Guys, I love this card. Okay, so it's the number 27, and the card is home. Okay, now what is home about in this context? Context is you need to create the home you want. You need to create the vision that you want, right? Home is a feeling. Home is connecting with the things that feel most safe, right, to you, because home is like safety, but it's also home is the place where you can show up fully as yourself, in your most authentic self. So how can you show up as your most authentic self when it comes to your dreams and your vision, right? How can you show up right now as the person who is creating their home, right? This is I love this card so much because this is about creating the space, right? And home is where you are, right? And so if you are uncomfortable where you are, not just physically, but also physically, right? If you're physically uncomfortable, you are not home. If you are spiritually uncomfortable, you are not home. If you are holding back or resisting or not allowing yourself to just be as you are, without any limitation or editing or, boundaries, right? If you don't have a space where you feel like, this is who I am, then that's what you need to create for yourself. You need to create a space where you feel like every part of you is being projected out, right? That you are showing up fully as yourself. So, how can you show up fully for yourself in this moment right now, regardless of whether or not your, physical world is what you want it to be, whether you live where you want to live, whether you have the house that you want to have, whether you have the body you want to have, whether you have the thoughts that you want to have? How can you create your authentic life in each and every moment? How can you make each moment feel like home, feel like you are safe? That's the most important thing on this journey, is feeling like you are safe and you are taken care of, right? And so you feel safe and taken care of when, of course, you take care of your needs, because you need, you have obligations to take care of, but also that you are taking care of your dreams. It is incorporating everything that you want out of your life in as many moments as possible, right? When you get home, that's where you kick off your shoes, take off your bra, walk around the house and however you feel, right? And you are just yourself. Maybe you turn on some music, maybe you dance, and maybe you don't dance anywhere else but home, but it is where you show up fully as yourself. And I can tell you that from my own personal experience, sometimes I have not shown up fully in my own home. And that is just because there's been a disconnect with me and my body and my mind, right? Mind, body, spirit. Those three things need to be connected in order for you to feel like home. And so, what can you do to show up authentically, right? And take these steps that you need to take to creating the life you want. Ask yourself that today and take one step or do one thing, even if it is making a drawing of the future that you envision for your life. That is, believe it or not, also a step, because for us to be able to truly envision what we want and to embody it, clarity is the key, right? So flesh out the idea. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? Who's involved in this experience? And start building your team of support. Start building your path. Start figuring out what really are the steps you need to take and what can you do right now. And if you find yourself saying, well, first I need this person to do this, then ask yourself, what can I do in this moment to move things along, to move things forward, to keep the momentum of this vision of what I want from my life? Okay, home, people. You got to create it. I love it. That card comes up for me all the time. Okay, so I will be back tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and go to Jumpstart for Change. Press the subscribe button and don't forget to ding the notification bell. And I'm here every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m., letting you know that, you know what? Life is awesome and showing up for other people is awesome, but you have to look out for yourself first. Don't forget. I love you all. See you soon. Milen, you're so welcome. Thank you. Have a great day. I'll be back